Hi guys and welcome back. In this video we're going to be building one of these, which is my cabinet door installation tool. We need a better name. Hope you enjoy. I've had a little look around online and I can't find anything similar, so I thought I'm going to have to make my own here. So I took to Shaper 3D, drew up a basic design on there of what I wanted it to look like. And this is what I've come up with, and I think it's going to work. This is a prototype. I haven't actually used it, as you can see, like we've got bits and pieces here, but I think it's going to work, what I want to do. So I'm going to put it all together, see what it's like, and then we're going to take it from there, and we're actually going to put it into practice and see if it works. So what I've done here is, in Shaper 3D, I made up this little design, and then from that I was able to get some bits and pieces for the sizes. Now these are 13.5mm thick, just because I was using up scraps that I've got around the shop. So I've got a bit of 9.5mm and a bit of 3mm on the top, so with the glue and that it comes up about 13.5mm. This side here I've done double thickness of the 3mm on it, so it comes up a little bit thicker. But yeah, you can use pretty much whatever you got. The only critical dimension with this really is this thickness here, just because obviously that's going to be the bit where it goes onto the carcass, so you want that measurement to be, I think I've done mine 22mm in there just to allow it. And then for the bolt I've got one of these fake space plug, I'm going to call it, because it's not an actual space plug branded one. These come free with Wren Kitchens, so yeah, I've got one of these, so we're going to disregard that bit, we don't need that bit. But then we're just going to use this little section here, and this is going to be what we're going to clamp it down with. So first of all, I think we need to take our top piece and we need to get the hole in there and the recess for the bolt in there. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to look at getting it all together. Okay, so yeah, we're going to turn to this piece here, which is going to be our top piece, and we're going to find where we want to put the holes in this. So let's turn our attention to that. Grab a ruler. I'm going to put a little pencil mark here just so we know where the back is. So that's going to leave me with 35mm there, so we're 17.5. That's our cross section for there. Square that mark across. Fingers and thumbs today. And then the halfway point of this, so this is 60mm, so we're 30, well it's actually 61mm, so 30.5. So that's given me my little crosshair for that. So we can drill a hole through there, and then we're going to recess that in the bottom, and then that's going to go through the top. So to do this, I've got me a nice new set of Forstner bits. So we're going to take that hole straight down the middle. I'm going to drill into my bench. Okay, now we've done that, what I want to do, they're really hard to get these out of here, they're brand new. So I've measured the bottom of my bolt, but yours might be different if you're doing it, so just measure what you've got. Mine across there is 19mm, so I'm just going to use a 20mm bit and go down thickness that we want, which is about halfway of this point here. Pop that in, see? No, a little bit thicker than that. You don't want this bolt sitting out the bottom, because it's going to cause you problems. So that's nicely recessed in there now. So now all we need to do is drill a hole down the top, and to do that, mine's going to be a 10mm hole, just to do that bolt, just to make sure that we've got enough clearance. You don't want this hole to be tight on the threads, you want it to be loose. You want the bolt to do the holding, not the ply itself. So there's my 10, is that my 10? That's my 10. A nice 10mm hole. I'm actually going to put it over the vise. And that's it. So now we should be able to take our bolt and our nut and pop it together in there. Yeah, and that's nice. Like I said, you don't want this tight on the hole, you want it to be a little bit loose, a little bit slack. Which that is. Which is good. I think what I'm actually going to do is glue that nut in place as well, just so it means that we don't have to don't have it spinning on us all the time. So I haven't actually got any epoxy with me today, so what we're going to have to do is just super glue it in for now, and when it inevitably cracks in the future, just clean that hole out a little bit. When that inevitably cracks in the future, I'll put a bit of epoxy in its place, but for now this will do. Like I said, we're prototyping anyway, so I might find this is a load of rubbish in the future, but I don't think it will be. Okay, we'll tighten that in there, we'll give it a little squirt with activator, and we can leave that to set up for a minute while we work on the other parts. Okay, so while that glue sets up on there, I mean it's probably already gone off, but we'll give it a minute anyway. We're going to turn our attention to attaching these two bits together. So this is quite simple. All we're going to do is we're going to find the middle of this, which is 30.5 again. Find the middle of this. This is 100mm, so 50 in there. Square these points. Do the same on that because that will make it easier to put the other bit together later. We'll actually square that down the back as well. And then we're going to glue and screw it together, but what I want to do is I want to glue it. I'm going to use a bit of super glue to hold it in place, so then it's not going to be all sliding around when we try and get our screws in place. So a bit of PVA. If I can get it out of the pot. There we go. And then we're going to put a bit of super glue on right on the corners, because I don't want to spray the activator first. I want to give myself a little bit of a chance to move it about. So put that right on the corner, and then we'll be able to put the activator in afterwards. So now we've got that, I'll turn it round on the camera so you can see it. We're going to line them up, make sure it's flush on the back. It doesn't have to be that critical, this, but we like to be we like to do as good a job as we can. Okay, we'll give that a second to go off, then we can attach the top part. So while that's doing that, I just want to explain the reason for me wanting to make this. So normally it's not too bad with the smaller doors, but when you're doing the bigger kitchen or cabinet doors or whatever, you know, and you're fumbling around and you're trying to hold the door in the right place, up and down, front and back. You're trying to, you know, like make sure you're flush on the bottom or a little bit up and all that, and it's all just a bit of a faff. So what I have been doing in the future is like clamping a bit of timber across, but yeah, again, that's a faff as well. So that's the reason for me wanting to make this, because this should make it just, I like things to be simple, I like things to be easy, I don't like to struggle on site. So I think this will be nice and easy. We can just clamp it on, put our door in place, and then take it from there. So right, I think we've got enough time now. I think that's gone off, so I'm going to get this top part attached to here, and then we can look at getting it all screwed together, because I want it to be strong. I want this to last. I don't want to be throwing this away in a couple of months and making another one. I want this to be a tool that I use all the time, so we'll do that. Okay, so we've given it a minute for all that glue to go off on that, and I think that should be nicely gone off. So now we're going to do the same thing with attaching that to there. So we're going to find the middle of this section, which we already know is 30.5. Square our line. We don't really need to square it, but it might make everything a little bit easier down the road. And then we'll do the same again, bit of PVA on the top. With our two bits of super glue right on the edge. give that a little squirt. Oh no, we won't, we'll line it up first. Do this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, we want to be nice and flush on that back. Right, we'll give that a second to go off, and then we're going to put 2 screws top, 2 screws bottom, and then that's essentially it. A little bit of sanding, a little bit of clean up, but that'll be the tool done. And then we can actually, I can show you how to use it on the cabinet. Right, now it's time. We're going to put some screws in here. So I'm just going to eyeball the centre of this, and then roughly where I want my screws in there. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, this. Just get them, try and make sure that your screws don't line up with each other and don't fail on each other when they go in as well. And then we'll put some screws in it. What's that? So on the top, I'm going to take that bolt out for a minute, because that's going to be a little bit annoying being in our way. And we'll take a nice countersink, just to make sure that everything's flush and true. Okay. A few screws in there, because like I said, I want this to last. Don't want it to fall apart after a couple of weeks of using it, you know. So this should be plenty strong enough for what we're doing now. That's it. We'll give it a little clean up with a bit of sandpaper. Doesn't need a lot. You could even put a finish on this if you wanted to. I'm not going to bother, but you could put an oil or a lacquer or a shellac or something like that on it, which would make it last a lot longer. And that's my reasoning for wanting to do this out of ply as well, rather than like an MDF, is just because it's going to last a lot longer being made out of that. That's it. That'll do. I'm not going to go too mad. I'm just essentially going to take the sharp corners and sharp edges off, just so it gives you a nicer feel in the hand, really, more than anything. And that's it. We can pop our bolt back in. The reason for me wanting to do this, I mean, you can use a normal bolt with this, but I wanted to use this because it's plastic and it shouldn't damage anything that it comes into contact with, because you've got that twisting motion as it goes in, as it clamps down onto the cabinet. Yeah, I didn't want it to be anything like metal or anything like that, so this should do the job nicely, just this little bit of nylon nut or whatever it is. So right, I'm going to reposition. I've got a couple of wall units on the wall over there that haven't got doors on it, so I'm going to reposition and I'm going to show you how this thing actually works. So as you can see here, I've knocked up this really appropriate size door for the size of the unit, but no, it'll be fine for demonstration purposes. This is what we're going to work with. So normally, like I said, we're trying to line it up here, trying to hold our drill to drill it in, trying to make sure this is all flush at the bottom, and it's a bit of a faff. Yes, you can take a piece of extra stock and clamp it on, but like I said, that's a bit of a faff as well. So this is why I wanted to do this. And I know, yeah, you can take the plates off and you can measure and mark all of that, but yeah, again, I find that a bit of a faff. If you've got loads to do, it can be a real faff doing that. So I prefer to do it this way. I just line it up and then do it. So that's why I've come up with this little bit, well, That's why I've wanted to make up this little block, just to make it easier. So the way it works is you just clip it on, hold it back a little touch, just so when your door's in its open position it doesn't fail, and you can screw that on, and then that's there, that's not going anywhere. And then what you can do is lay your door on there, and now you know your door's flush with the bottom, but of course we don't want our door flush with the bottom, but it's going to hold it there for now. So what we can do is if we put our screws in the uppermost position, that's going to give us an adjustment after the fact. So screws in, like I said, in the upper position. One more there. Now we can take this out of the way, and that's completely gone. Like I said, now our door's in its bottom position, which isn't no good. So we can just focus on slacking them off. And then all we've got to do is lift our door up to where we want it. Wind them out a touch. And there we have it. We have our door on. So like I said, you can do it by measuring and marking and all that, but I find it a bit of a faff. I think that's going to be a much quicker way of getting all my doors on, just for the sake of clamping that little block on. It's going to make life a lot easier. And there we have it, guys. I'm really happy with how this has come out. It's really strong, and I doubt that glue's even gone off properly yet either. It's really strong, really robust. I think it's going to stand the test of time, no problem. I can see me using it on jobs repeatedly, so look out for it in videos. But we need a better name for this, so if you can think of a better name, pop it in the comments below, and I promise I will sort through, and the one that I think is the best name, I will rename this video to that. But for the moment, it's called the Cabinet Door Installation Tool, because that's all I can come up with. But yeah, like I said, really strong. The only thing that I think might give up is that nylon bolt over time. That nut's going to come loose because we only super glued that in, so I'll epoxy that in properly. But yeah, that's about it really. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of this sort of stuff, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, you'll be up to date with all of my videos. I want to thank you guys for watching along, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.